Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson 3 of learning SQL. And last class we talked about simple stuff, just creating tables. So let's go back. Let's say we have a company now named BBC. And I'm just gonna copy this, and let's say it's the simple stuff, what we had before. Nothing too crazy, and I'm gonna execute this, and this is what we have. So just what we did before, we created a table with a primary key. I should have never put primary key, but it's okay. Don't worry about the primary key. I'm explaining it next class. But we have a primary key and we have three basically rows inside of it. And if you open the tables, this is what's inside of it. Oops. Doesn't show, then I can just, it's okay. It doesn't show, let's just go select. So yeah, this is just basically, I just wanted to show you guys our table. So this is what we have. Now let's say you want to edit your table, but you're not sure. So let's say we want to change the age of John. So this is what we're going to do. The same thing, except in here we're going to say in capital, we're going to say update the customers table that we have, and we're going to say set age as 31. So now I want to go from 30 to 31 now. But in here, this is where it's going to be. I'm going to say where customer. So I'm going to use customer ID, this one in right here. And the reason we use primary key is because I set it as customer ID. So I'm going to explain what primary key is before anything. So let me just go back and let me explain, because I can't explain this video without explaining what primary key is. And what primary key, let's see. So let's say you have a data right here, you have a table, and you have another table right here. Now both of these tables have one thing in common. They both have, it doesn't have to be customer ID, but I'm just setting as example. Say they both have a customer ID. Now in order to get them to work together, and let's say you want to, this table right here is for the employees, this table for the managers, and let's say you want to go and every time you pull up the employee name, you want to see who the manager is. So you have to set something in common for them to connect. So let's say both of them have customer ID, and that's the only thing they match. So we're going to set customer ID as primary. That's the first thing that we can do. So now they're connected. The other thing we can use customer ID as, let's say as an example right here, we have a customer ID and you want to change something, you want to edit something, it's where you use customer ID. So now I want to change the age of John, but I can use the customer ID to say, hey, change, because SQL doesn't know who you're talking about. I'm here, I'm going to use, hey, use customer ID, but change the age of this person. So this is what I'm going to do. So in here, I'm going to say use customer ID, and I'm just going to press this. Now I can do it. And if I run this, one row effective. So now if I go select from customers again, and if I run it, it's changed from age 30 to age 31. But in here, let's say you want to change, you want to delete number 2, which is Jane from Los Angeles. So what you can do is, let's close all this so you won't be confused. Well, let's just keep this. So what you can do is just go, now you can go and say it in plain English, delete from, again, we're going to specify our table, so it's going to be customers, and in here I'm going to use again customer ID, because our customer ID is set as primary key. Customer ID is primary key, it says in the English. So I'm going to say use customer ID and delete number 2 equals number 2. Now if I run this, oh, I spelled delete wrong. There we go. There we go. So now if I go in here, I go select from customers. Now our 2 has been deleted. So now 3 moves to 2 automatically. So we use customer ID. Now, what if I want change the city? For changing the city, you don't always need to go use customer ID. You can just change the city without doing anything. So in here, I'm gonna say change both cities to New York. So in here, I'm gonna say select again. In here, I'm gonna say select from customers. Now in here, I'm gonna say where city. And in here, I'm gonna say New York. Close it and close this. So now if I run this, there we go. So now I used New York. So now I just selected the city that it's from New York. So in here, there's a city in Chicago. I don't want to choose Chicago. I only want to choose New York. So what I can do is come here. If I want to see, for example, Chicago, I can come here, and instead of saying New York, I can say Chicago. And if I run this, it's only going to show me the people of Chicago. And this is how it is. What else is there? Oh, what you can do, let's say you want to do basically go by order of the age. So what you can do is go again, select from customers. Then in here, we're gonna go order by age. And you always need to use this, DESS. And when you run it, it's gonna go by our age. So it's gonna go from the highest to lowest. And notice now number 3 went to 1 because number 3 has a higher age. So typically that's how editing a table works. It's mostly plain English, it's just the ending. But yeah, go ahead and practice these and make sure you know them, because in next video I'm going to talk about primary and foreign key, which is going to be the most important of learning SQL. And after that, that's it. So thank you for watching.